fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Class Cybertron Universe Hotshot from the Transformers Legacy United line from Hasbro. So I finally finished reviewing all of Wave 4, finally getting back to a few of the stragglers left over from Wave 3. So this is Hotshot from Cybertron, or Exilion as he was known in Galaxy Force, and it looks pretty cool. I think this is a really nice mold for this character, and I'm excited to check it out. You have some nice artwork of the vehicle mode here on the front, and then some nice artwork of the robot mode here on the side. Over on this side, you have your standard half of the Legacy United picture. Nothing really going on the bottom. Got the Legacy United logo there on the top. And this is weird to say now at this point in the line, but I always think it would be cooler if they would put the logo of the show that this is from. Like, obviously have Legacy United here on the front, but then on the top flap, it would be cool if it had the Cybertron logo. Anyway, turning it around to the back, we have some nice product shots of the robot mode and the vehicle mode. And of course, he does come with a tiny little planet key for Velocitron, which is pretty cool. I'm excited they started doing the little planet keys. I always thought that was such a fun little gimmick. So, gonna go ahead, get Hotshot here out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Cybertron Universe Hotshot out of the packaging. Honestly, it's not all that dissimilar from the original figure. I feel like it has very similar articulation, transforms very similarly. Just overall, it looks really good. The original figure was a lot of fun from back in the day, and I think this one is also really cool. A lot of nice paint applications. I like the translucent yellow windows. I think that really works well here. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty good looking figure. Head sculpt, I think they did a wonderful job recreating that. It's a little difficult to see with the head crest being so huge, but he has two really nice blue metallic eyes there. Silver painted for the face looks good. Head sculpt, pretty good range of motion. You can look up pretty far, look down, tilt side to side, spin side to side, no problem. I think the yellow there is painted pretty nicely. Maybe could have used one more coat just because they're painting a light color on a really dark colored plastic, but overall I think it works. Some nice detail and paint here in the chest. Got a nice Autobot symbol there on the shoulder, as well as some red details painted there. Some nice paint down here on the shins. Coming around to the back, some really nice paint as well. Love this gunmetal gray here, and you'll see that off a little bit more in vehicle mode. We'll get there soon. But yeah, overall it looks pretty good. Finishing out articulation, you have a swivel here in the shoulder. You have a little bit of kind of movement here in the shoulder because of the transformation. You have a bicep swivel, 90 degrees there in the elbow. He does have a wrist swivel as well, even though he does have a large bit of car kibble here on the side of the forearm. But again, exactly how the original toy was, and I don't mind it. I think it looks pretty good. And you still have that wrist swivel in there, even though it seems a little worthless, but it still is there. You have a waist swivel. You have a pretty good kick forward. You have a decent kick backwards, but it starts to hit into this kibble here. But if you kind of move the leg out to the side, I mean, the hip is capable of going that far back. Just the leg is hitting into this. Now, I've tried to move this up a little bit, because with the original, you could kind of move this up around a little bit. But for whatever reason, this pin seems to want to also move the way this is connected to the back. It shouldn't, because it's really not connected in any way, but I have a hard time getting it to move without also kind of pushing up this whole section. So if you can kind of hold that down and then push this up, I really think it only goes about that far, because you can kind of see where these pieces are hitting into that. So that's really about as far back as it will go, but you can move it around a little bit to, get a little bit more out of the hips in the backward motion, but forward and to the side, no problem whatsoever. Got a thigh swivel there, got 90 degrees there at the knee, and then you have pretty good ankle tilt. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Almost 180 degrees ankle tilt. So really no issues there with the ankle tilt. But yeah, it's a good looking figure. I like it. I think it's definitely Cybertron Hotshot. I think they nailed it. He definitely looks the part. He does come with two accessories. So you have this gun. Now with the original toy, this was a spring-loaded missile. You could see this was the piece that you push down to fire the missile, and I think it's kind of neat that they molded it in there and painted it, because this is obviously all done in this kind of amber translucent plastic, but they painted the barrel this nice gunmetal gray, and then they even painted like the imaginary actuator. I think that's really fun. It does have a little tip here for blast effects, so it is compatible, and that does pop into his hand very simply. If you want, you can store it on the back. This is going to be where it connects in vehicle mode So you could do that as well. And then, of course, he also comes with his planet key for Planet Velocitron. Would be nice if these had a little bit of paint on them, but I get it. You know, it's a budget thing. But they are nicely molded there. If you wanted to try your hand at painting them yourself, you could. And that just pegs into this little spot right here. Now, unlike the original toy, you know, it is not spring-loaded. The key does not actually activate anything, but you can flip out these wings, which can be a little difficult to get a hold of, but these wings here just flip out. They're just done manually, and it can be a little difficult, but not impossible. As I say that, come on now. It's just kind of hard to attach. There we go. Not attach. Just get your finger in there. Technically, if you wanted to, you could disconnect the whole back section. Then it would be very easy. But if you're trying to do it without doing that. But there you go. That you can flip out the wings there. And you can take the key out if you don't want to leave that there. Wings are kind of lost in robot mode, I'll be honest. But they're a little bit more effective in the vehicle mode. But still looks cool. Yeah, overall, I think in robot mode, he looks pretty great. Now, the last time we saw this character since the original is this version of Cybertron Defense Hotshot that they did back during Siege. It's just a repaint of Siege Hound. And it was decent at the time. I think the head sculpt was good. It was not a really great representation of Cybertron Defense Hotshot. He should at least have those giant red pieces on the back. But, you know, it was okay at the time. Putting these two next to each other, I think this is definitely the superior version of Hotshot, since this is actually, you know, made to be his first appearance later in the show. Spoilers. He transforms into Cybertron Defense Hotshot, and it's kind of weird to think that he would shrink so much since he originally got bigger. But I feel like at this point, this is a little outdated. This is definitely the better version. But I wanted to just kind of show them off side by side, since it's kind of funny that there is such a height discrepancy. Next comparison I want to do here is with Override. I think these two look great together. They were about the same size on the show. And I still think this holds up as a really great figure. I think they did a really nice job here. So really happy to have these two, you know, getting ready to race on Velocitron. The only thing I'm bummed about, they kind of molded in the port here. If all they had done was make this a little hollow, you could use this, because I almost feel like it would fit. Like, it's definitely the right size. If they had just hollowed out this little section here, you know, you could use one of these keys. I kind of wish they figured out they were going to use this gimmick with these before this came out. So unfortunately, you can't really use the keys with overdrive here. Is it override or overdrive? Now I'm in my head about it. In any case, Nitro Convoy. I just wish the gimmick worked with this figure as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But you can kind of, you know, pretend that it would go there and then have the gun flip out. But unfortunately, not the case. Either way, these two still look great together. And then just a quick group shot with some of the other Cybertron characters we've gotten recently. I still absolutely love this Starscream figure. I think they did such a good job with that. Vector Prime is really good as well. So it's just really fun to see, you know, them really kind of getting to fill out this lineup here. I don't know if it'll continue. I kind of hope it does. There's definitely some other characters I'd love to see, but the ones we've gotten so far have been pretty great. Alright, so getting to Hotshot's transformation, honestly, it's really not too dissimilar from the original toy. We're going to start here at the legs. You can kind of use that ankle tilt to flip the legs out pretty much all the way out, and then you can hide the heel inside, and then close that back up. So we're going to do that again over here. Very simple. Then we're going to open up these shin pieces. They will flip open like so, and then you're just going to collapse the leg down inside. Close that up. Get that all the way in. There we go. And then you can close that up. So the original toy, I think you just slid this up and down. For this one, they have it open up and collapse in. That's really the major difference with the transformation, honestly, from the original. Once you're done with that, you can snap those two together, and you can see pretty much have the whole back section of the car completed. At that point, you're going to want to disconnect this panel here. So this can be a little tricky, because of the way it connects, but you kind of want to like maybe put your finger here and then kind of like use that to pop it up, because you can see this kind of moves around. And how this works, you can see the little cutout there, and there's just two little rectangular tabs inside. It's probably going to be difficult to show them. There you go. You can kind of see one of them right there. So they just sit on that. But if you can just kind of pop that up, then they'll disconnect. And then you just kind of rotate that all the way in like that. And also rotate the head all the way in like that. At this point, you can probably guess the rest of the transformation. You're going to spin this around like so. You're going to straighten out the shoulders, flip them up, and peg them into each other like so. Straighten out the arms. Then you are going to rock this back. So the way this is, you can see that there's a red piece, and then there's kind of a dark blue piece. And you want this to rotate back so that that will peg in. So you kind of push this down. And also you can see like this will drop in around the heel pieces. And I'm going to push this back in temporarily. But that's pretty much in. And then you're just going to fold the arms against the body just like the original toy. So bring this in and then tuck these tabs back like so. Repeat the process over here. And then you're just going to drop this down and that will peg in very simply like that. And there we go. We have Hot Shot in vehicle mode. So if you handled the original toy, that transformation was very, very similar to the original. I think the only main difference is the original feet just kind of folded up onto the back here instead of hiding inside the kind of spoiler area, and folding the legs, having them a kind of accordion in instead of just sliding up. Really the only main differences. Otherwise, transformation very similar to the original. But again, looks great. I love the shade of blue. I love all the paint. You got the gunmetal gray here as well. Got the headlights. All the paint back here. This gunmetal gray looks really sharp. Rolls very well. Yeah, no problems with that whatsoever. If you want to go ahead and plug the key in again, you can pretend that these flip out to give him a speed boost. You can also attach the gun here to the top, like that, if you really wanted. You could also attach it here on the side. Or if you kind of fold these back in out of the way, you could also attach it here on the back. So whatever you like the look of. Personally, I just like to attach it to the top like that. But yeah, he looks good in vehicle mode. I think they definitely recreated it, and it looks pretty good. I like Hot Shot a lot. I've always liked this design for him. I think this is pretty similar to the original toy, but I think that's perfectly fine. The original toy was a lot of fun, and I think this definitely has some improvements to it. I like the fact that the gun isn't spring-loaded. That's just me. Those springs kind of wear out over time, so I'm happy to have just kind of a normal gun. I like that they are able to kind of bring the Planet Key gimmick back. I think that's a lot of fun. Even though it's not spring-loaded, I still appreciate that they included it. I honestly don't mind the features not being spring-loaded. The other thing I just realized, and I can't believe I didn't notice this before, these giant panels here, you can remove them. So if you like a cleaner look to the arm, you can absolutely do that, which I think is really cool. I'm personally going to leave them on, but I think that's really cool that that's an option. Head sculpt's great. Paint applications are good. Transformation's fun. Very reminiscent of the original figure. I like it a lot. I really do. I mean, if you have the original, is this so much of an upgrade that you need to get it? Maybe not. But if you don't have the original, or, want something that's a little bit more contemporary, removes kind of the spring-loaded gimmicks, and just looks really good on a shelf, I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. And I'm really enjoying all of the Cybertron characters that we're getting, and I hope we get a few more before they finish and kind of move on back to G1, I guess. But in any case, this one's a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.